So this was brought to my attention by a number of different people. We all know those personalized bingo games that get circulated around, right? Well, this one is purportedly from a labor and delivery unit in a hospital, which is, if you didn't know, where moms go into labor and deliver their babies. Let's take a look at some of the squares where if you had this experience with a patient, you could win big. Now, some of them are pretty innocuous and harmless, right? Like free space. No, but things like dad passed out or jewelry in the nether regions, whatever. But then even as someone that's never worked in labor and delivery, I can notice a theme here. Tell me if you agree. Oh, I'm a hard stick. Meaning that they're tough to start an IV on or draw blood from. Afraid of needles, but covered in tattoos. Ate before a scheduled C-section. Pain levels a 10 while asking for food, texting, and smiling. These are all things that could make staff roll their eyes, and sometimes with what they think is good reason. Oh, you're a hard stick? Says who? Your neighborhood clinic? I'm a pro, watch how it's done. How's someone so afraid of needles if they're all tatted up? How's someone's pain level a 10 if they're asking for food, they're texting, and they're smiling? Why would someone eat if they know that they're going in for a surgical procedure like a C-section? You can roll your eyes to any of that. But just to address those ones, if your patient is telling you they're a hard stick, that doesn't mean it's your time to shine. They're not setting you up for a challenge, they're setting you up for success by telling you to grab your best IV nurse or your ultrasound machine. Because they've been through hell having holes poked through their body too many times. Number 2, you have no idea what's happened in that person's life since they got that tattoo and now. Or during the process of getting that tattoo. Or maybe it's not the tattooing needles that bother them, but the ones that remind them of their mom shooting up that dude. Okay? Could be. Who knows? Not you. Number 3, newsflash. Not everyone gets the pain number scale. Okay? That's why it's a shitty scale. You know how I know it's a shitty scale? Because my patients tell me that it's a shitty scale. And they're the only ones that can tell you about their pain. Sometimes a patient will tell me that their pain's a 9, and then I'll ask if it's tolerable, and they'll say, I can live with it. I'm thinking clearly you're not getting this, okay? It's a shitty scale. And why in the world would anyone eat knowing that they're going in for a C-section? I don't know, people make mistakes. Or maybe they did it intentionally. Because no one explained to them how life-threateningly important it is not to eat before going into surgery. But as a guy that's never given birth, I still think I can safely say there are a lot of thoughts and emotions running through mom's mind, and she may have made a mistake that really messed up the surgery schedule. Sorry. But okay, roll your eyes to all of that. Here is what I don't like the eye rolling to carry on to. Has a doula, no prenatal care, has a birth plan, LaBush, non-English speaking patient, husband, boyfriend, father of baby, all different men. Bowel movement while pushing, turd baby. I'm gonna stop with that one. Now again, I don't work in labor and delivery, so I'm speaking as a nurse, which down to our core training and responsibilities should be aligned across the board. But I'm also speaking as a brother, as a nephew, as an uncle, as a cousin, as a friend, as a son, and as a human being. Who the f*** do you think you are laughing at your patient's pubic hair behind their back? Were they supposed to prioritize manicuring their peri area to your liking? Do you know how weird that is? What about having a bowel movement during birth? Okay, is that not embarrassing enough that you have to laugh at it happening with your colleagues? Or should we go ahead and get a little more degrading? Do I even have to point out how inappropriate and downright wrong it is to use the term turd baby? Turd baby. Now, working as a post-anesthesia nurse right now, my interactions with obstetrics ranges from the mom who just had an emergency C-section to the couple that just got done losing another child for the 6th time in a row. Now, from the live baby that made it out healthy to the ones that weren't as fortunate, there is not a single grain, ounce, sliver, iota of space in that spectrum or in this world for using the term turd baby. Those two words don't go together in my book ever. Now, of course, we can see how beneficial and essential prenatal care is for mom and baby outcomes, but what we can't directly see is some of the challenges that moms and families have in getting it. The disparities in access to healthcare in this country are very real, and how dare you pick on someone for that being their reality. And I'm sorry, wait, no I'm not. Why the f*** would you target a non-English speaking patient? Did you expect them to learn English for you? Did you learn their language for them before they came in? Of course not. That would be ridiculous. Ridiculous like this little number you crafted up. Ridiculous like the fact that I have to address it. And ridiculous like you thinking posting this shit online was gonna fly given the state of healthcare in this country. Who on earth do you think you are for targeting someone that's choosing to utilize a doula? Something that's been proven to improve birth weights and decrease birth complications. Or put together a birth plan for their pregnancy. A plan. How has it not occurred to you that none of these circumstances are any of your decisions? And may I remind you that we're in a country where infant mortality rates are higher than some developing countries, you should be encouraging mothers to do whatever's in their power to keep themselves and their families safe through this very pivotal time in their life. I just read that the gap between black and white babies surviving their first year of life is larger than it's been in this country since 15 years prior to slavery ending. There's clearly a threat to survival in an apparently broken system, and making a mockery of this for families is disgraceful. Now, honestly, these bingo squares didn't surprise me one bit. It's because I'm a person, and I know how nasty people are capable of being. Because the healthcare professional that did this, and those that laughed at it and thought it was funny, they're all just people. But I think I can speak for most healthcare professionals when I say that this is not only callous and hurtful to us and our patients, but a very distorted demonstration of how we behave and what we stand for as caregivers. Whether the ER is crickets or there's no surgeries on the board or all your patients are asleep and you happen to have some downtime. I honestly don't care if you're playing bingo, cards, or Mortal Kombat, okay? Don't ever humiliate and stigmatize our profession or disrespect and degrade our patients with nonsense like this ever. To anyone that was hurt by this from us health professionals that care, my deepest apologies.